Fate Zero. Fate Zero starts with an intense premise. 7 powerful mages are called to battle in a legendary war. Each mage summons a heroic spirit, known as a servant, a legendary figure from history or myth. The reason for this epic conflict? A sacred artifact called the Holy Grail, said to grant any wish to the last standing mage and their servant. These warriors, with unmatched abilities and unique identities, fight a brutal, strategic, and complex battle where the stakes could mean life or death. One of the central characters, Kiritsugu Emiya, is a mage with a dark, complicated past. Known as the Magus Killer, he has taken down several magicians to bring justice to the world, yet he's haunted by a life filled with tough choices. Kiritsugu's goal in the Grail War is to make a world without suffering. He believes the Grail can achieve this, but he's conflicted because he must take lives to reach his dream. He summons Saber, a servant who is as honorable as she is powerful, known in history as King Arthur. Saber's loyalty and sense of justice clash with Kiritsugu's ruthless methods, creating an intense relationship between the two. Their dynamic is compelling and mirrors the ethical conflicts that shape the story. Another key player is Kirei Kotomine, a priest chosen by fate to participate in the war. Kirei is lost and empty inside, struggling to find meaning. He becomes fascinated with Kiritsugu's violent yet purposeful ways and decides to shadow him. As he dives deeper into the Grail War, Kirei's curiosity turns into a darker obsession. He summons Assassin, and together, they become unpredictable wildcards in the war. Kirei's eventual transformation into one of the series' most chilling villains shows how desire, confusion, and curiosity can twist a person into something terrifying. The series also features other memorable warriors, each with unique motivations. Ryder, summoned by Waver Velvet, brings a lighter side to the story. Ryder is Alexander the Great, and his adventurous, bold spirit inspires Waver, a young mage looking to prove himself. They share a strong bond built on respect and ambition, adding layers to the story with moments of humor and friendship. Their interactions balance the darker tones and show the diversity of relationships in the Grail War. Ryder's ambition and leadership draw Waver out of his insecurities, revealing the impact of the war on both mages and servants. The climax of Fate Zero delivers one revelation after another. As each servant and mage fall, the Grail's true nature is revealed. It's not a tool for good, but rather a corrupt and destructive power. Kiritsugu, who had dedicated his life to seeking peace, faces his ultimate test when he realizes that his dream was an illusion. His choice to destroy the Grail rather than use it solidifies his character as someone who, despite all his flaws, chooses humanity over personal gain. Fate Zero. Season 2. Season 2 picks up with the war intensifying, as only a few mages and servants remain in the battle for the Holy Grail. The stakes are higher, and the characters' conflicts become even more personal. With Kiritsugu's past choices haunting him, his bond with Saber begins to crack under the weight of their differing ideals. Kiritsugu's single-minded quest for peace at any cost continues to define his actions, and his decision to betray allies and enemies alike shows how far he's willing to go. The tension rises as the remaining participants, Kirei Kotomine, Tosaka, and the other mages, move closer to the final confrontation. Kirei's transformation into a full-blown antagonist deepens as his obsession with Kiritsugu grows. His increasingly twisted view of the world and his belief in the futility of human ideals make him a chilling figure in this season. He becomes the true enemy, manipulating others to achieve his own dark goals. Kirei's servant, Assassin, also plays a pivotal role, helping him navigate the war's final stages. Saber, who continues to fight with honor and justice, must come to terms with her master's intentions and how they clash with her own sense of duty. Meanwhile, the bond between Waver Velvet and Ryder grows stronger as they continue their quest, even as their fate becomes more uncertain. The climax of Season 2 sees the final, bloody battles, with mages and servants clashing in dramatic, intense confrontations. Kiritsugu's emotional and moral journey culminates in a heartbreaking and shocking conclusion. The war for the Grail, once seen as a chance to fulfill a great wish, reveals its true cost. The dark secrets surrounding the Holy Grail's power come to light, leaving everyone questioning whether it's worth fighting for. By the end of the season, only a few remain standing, and Kiritsugu's ultimate choice to destroy the Grail shows the depth of his character and the crushing weight of his tragic journey. Fate Stay Night. Fate Stay Night follows the story of Shiru Emiya, a young man who survived a terrible fire that destroyed his family. He was taken in by Kiritsugu Emiya, a man who had his own tragic past and ideals about saving the world. Raised by Kiritsugu, Shirou grows up with a strong sense of justice and a desire to help others, believing in the concept of saving everyone. This belief sets him on a path that will be tested during the Holy Grail War, a deadly battle where mages summon heroic spirits to fight for the chance to have their wishes granted by the Holy Grail. The Holy Grail War is a brutal competition, and Shirou is thrown into it unexpectedly. One night, while trying to protect others, Shirou accidentally summons Saber, a heroic spirit from the past. Saber is revealed to be King Arthur, but with a twist. She is a woman in this version of the legend. Shirou, inexperienced in magic and combat, has no idea what he's gotten himself into. However, he's determined to fight for what he believes is right. His servant, Saber, is powerful and skilled in battle, but the bond between them grows stronger as they fight together. Shirou is not the only participant in the Holy Grail War. His schoolmates, Rin Tosaka and Sakura Matu, are also involved, each with their own servant. Rin summons Archer, a servant with immense combat skills, and Sakura's connection to the war is more mysterious. Each of these characters has their own personal reasons for participating, and as the story unfolds, it becomes clear that their pasts are tied to the war and to each other. The conflict between Shirou's desire to protect people and the ruthless nature of the war becomes central to the plot. His unwavering ideals come into conflict with the harsh reality of the situation, and the choices he makes lead him to question his own understanding of what it means to be a hero. As the Holy Grail War progresses, Shirou faces difficult choices that force him to confront the consequences of his beliefs. The final confrontation brings him face to face with the true nature of the Holy Grail and the dark secrets hidden within it. Shirou's ideals are tested like never before, and he must decide whether to continue following his path or make a different choice to save those he loves. Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works. Unlimited Blade Works is the second route in the Fate Stay Night visual novel. It picks up where Fate Stay Night left off, following Shirou Emiya and his servant, Saber, as they continue to fight in the Holy Grail War. However, this route focuses more on Shirou's relationship with Rin Tosaka and their struggle to survive the deadly war, along with a deeper exploration of Shirou's ideals. The story starts with Shirou becoming more familiar with his abilities as a mage. He is still a novice in magic, but his resolve to help others and his strong sense of justice guide him through the war. He forms a partnership with Rin Tosaka, a skilled mage who summons the powerful servant Archer. Unlike Saber, Archer is a more pragmatic and battle-hardened servant. Despite their differences, Shirou and Rin work together, with their shared goal of defeating the other participants in the Holy Grail War. However, as the war intensifies, Shirou begins to learn that not everything is as simple as he initially thought. His idealistic view of heroism and saving everyone is challenged by the darker truths of the war. One of the key themes of Unlimited Blade Works is the conflict between Shirou's dream of becoming a hero who saves everyone and the harsh reality of the war, where only one participant can win. As the war progresses, Shirou faces off against various powerful enemies. One of the most notable battles is against the servant Castor, who is determined to use the Holy Grail for her own twisted desires. Castor's dark magic and control over other servants make her a formidable foe, but Shirou's determination to fight for his ideals pushes him forward. Alongside Rin and Saber, Shirou works to defeat Castor and her allies, realizing that every fight is taking a toll on him. Shirou's conflict with his own ideals comes to a head when he faces off against Archer in a final confrontation. Archer reveals that he is a future version of Shirou, who became disillusioned with his own ideals. Archer's tragic story serves as a dark mirror to Shirou's beliefs. He believes that by becoming a hero, Shirou will eventually sacrifice everything, including his humanity. This battle of ideals is central to Unlimited Blade Works, as Shirou must come to terms with his own path and the consequences of pursuing his dream at all costs. The final battle in the story takes place against the antagonist Gilgamesh, a powerful and arrogant servant who seeks to claim the Holy Grail for himself. Gilgamesh's overwhelming power and his obsession with the Grail present a major challenge for Shirou and his allies. However, with the help of Rin and his servant Saber, Shirou faces Gilgamesh in an epic showdown. The battle highlights Shirou's growth as a mage and his determination to fight for his ideals, even when the odds seem impossible. By the end of Unlimited Blade Works, Shirou comes to a realization about his own dreams and the sacrifices that come with them. He learns that while saving everyone may not be possible, he can still make a difference by fighting for what he believes in. The ending is bittersweet, but offers hope for Shirou's future. with the acknowledgement that true heroism is not about saving everyone, but making a positive impact on those you can. Fate Unlimited Blade Works, second season. The second season of Unlimited Blade Works continues with the mysterious journey of Shiru Emiya in the Holy Grail War. The war intensifies, and new alliances are formed while old enemies grow stronger. Shiru, Rin, and their allies face tough battles, but they also grapple with difficult truths about themselves and their goals. At the beginning of the second season, the stakes are higher than ever. Shiru's resolve to fight for his ideal of heroism is tested continuously. He's forced to confront the harsh reality that the Holy Grail War is not just about victory, it's about sacrifice and the consequences of pursuing a dream without considering the cost. This season brings a deeper exploration of Shiru's internal struggles, his ideals, and his evolving relationship with Rin Tosaka. One of the season's central conflicts is the battle between Shiru and Archer, who, as revealed earlier, is a future version of Shiru. Archer's perspective on life and heroism is dark, as he believes that Shiru's ideals will ultimately lead to a tragic end. Their conflict embodies a clash of ideologies: Shiru's belief in saving everyone versus Archer's cynical view that such a goal is futile. As the season progresses, the tension between these two characters grows, culminating in a dramatic and emotionally charged confrontation. Gilgamesh, one of the most powerful and arrogant servants, becomes a major antagonist in this season. He is obsessed with the Holy Grail and seeks to claim it at any cost. Gilgamesh's overwhelming power and his desire to control the Grail make him a fearsome opponent for Shiru and his allies. Throughout their encounters, Gilgamesh taunts and challenges Shiru, pushing him to his limits. As the season nears its climax, Shiru faces off against Gilgamesh in a final showdown. This battle is one of the most intense in the series. Shiru's growth as a mage is on full display as he pushes past his limits and fights with everything he has. Despite Gilgamesh's immense power, Shiru and his allies, including Rin and Saber, manage to outsmart him and eventually defeat him. In the final moments of the season, Shiru's ideal of heroism is fully realized, but not without cost. He learns that while he cannot save everyone, the pursuit of his dream is still worth it. By embracing his own limitations, Shiru understands that heroism is not about achieving perfection or saving everyone, but about fighting for what is right, no matter the odds. Fate Apocrypha. Apocrypha is a spin-off of the Fate series that takes place in an alternate timeline. The story diverges from the main universe, where the Holy Grail War happens differently. The battle for the Holy Grail becomes a larger conflict between two factions, the Red and the Black. The series is filled with action, powerful servants, and complex characters, offering a fresh take on the Fate universe. The story begins with the Holy Grail being stolen by the Magus of the Igdamillennia family, who then declares war on the Mages Association. The Grail is hidden, and the battle is set to determine who will claim it. The two factions, Red and Black, are formed, each with 7 servants and their respective masters. The Red faction, also known as the Group of 7, is led by the powerful and mysterious ruler, while the Black faction is led by the Igdamillennia family and their leader, Shiro Tokisada. The central character, Sieg, is an unusual hero. He starts as a homunculus, created for a specific purpose, but over time, he gains strength and develops a sense of free will. He becomes an essential part of the conflict, eventually becoming a master of his own destiny. Sieg's relationship with his servant, the Saber of Black, Mordred, is central to his growth. Mordred, the rebellious knight, and Sieg form a strong bond as they fight together against their enemies. As the two factions battle, the Red and Black servants, each with unique abilities and backgrounds, fight in various battles that push them to their limits. Some of the most memorable servants in the series include the powerful and charismatic Saber of Red, Siegfried, who is a tragic figure with a past full of betrayal, the ruthless assassin of Black, who wields deadly blades and has a mysterious past, and the heroic rider of Red, Astolfo, who brings both comedy and courage to the fight. The war escalates as both sides suffer losses and the stakes grow higher. The battle for the Holy Grail becomes a war of attrition with no clear path to victory. Sieg's growth and his interactions with other characters help to build emotional depth in the story. His journey is not only about becoming a strong fighter, but also about understanding the true meaning of the Holy Grail and what it represents. The finale of the series is a culmination of all the battles and emotional struggles. Sieg and his allies face off against powerful enemies, leading to a final confrontation that will determine the future of the Holy Grail. The battle is intense, filled with sacrifice and tragedy, as the characters fight for what they believe in. The ultimate resolution of the Holy Grail War is both satisfying and thought-provoking, as it reflects the series' themes of destiny, sacrifice, and the cost of pursuing one's ideals. In the end, Fate Apocrypha is a story about power, fate, and the choices that define us. It expands the Fate universe with its unique storyline, introducing new characters, servants, and philosophical dilemmas. The series is action-packed but also explores deep themes about identity, free will, and the meaning of life. The struggles of the characters, especially Sieg, offer a fresh perspective on the classic Fate conflict, while still maintaining the intensity and intrigue that fans of the franchise expect. Fate Grand Order: Absolute Demonic Front takes us on an epic journey to ancient Mesopotamia, focusing on the story of the Babylonia chapter from the popular mobile game. In this series, we follow Ritsuka Fujimaru, a master of Chaldea, and his servant, Mash Karilite, as they travel through time to prevent the destruction of human history. This time, their mission takes them to the year 2655 BC, where they must stop a major anomaly that threatens the survival of the human race. The story kicks off with the appearance of the demonic beast, Tiamat, who threatens to destroy the world. Tiamat, the primordial goddess of chaos, is slowly awakening from her slumber beneath the Earth's surface, and her power threatens to bring about the end of humanity. In order to stop her, Ritsuka and Mash must work alongside the heroic spirits of the Babylonia era to stop this devastating force. These heroes, known as servants, are summoned by Chaldea and include iconic figures such as Gilgamesh, Enkidu, and others. As they arrive in this ancient era, Ritsuka and Mash quickly realize that they are caught in a fierce battle for survival. The city of Uruk, ruled by the mighty King Gilgamesh, is under siege by the forces of chaos. The city's last hope lies in the hands of its king and his allies, including the mighty Lancer of Red, Karna, and the powerful Archer of Red, Enkidu. These legendary warriors must face not only Tiamat's monstrous minions, but also the threat of the goddess herself, who is seeking the destruction of humanity. The story highlights the struggle between the forces of chaos and order, with Gilgamesh, the king of heroes, taking center stage. He is a complex character, both arrogant and wise, yet deeply caring for his people. He forms an unlikely partnership with Ritsuka and Mash as they unite to face the overwhelming forces of destruction. Gilgamesh's relationship with Enkidu, his close friend, and the emotional stakes that come with their bond add a powerful layer of drama to the series. As the story progresses, Ritsuka and his team uncover more about the true nature of Tiamat and the history behind the Babylonia era. They learn about the deep connection between Tiamat, the gods, and the fate of humanity. As the battle against Tiamat reaches its climax, Ritsuka and Mash must face not only the goddess herself, but also the ancient truth about the nature of human existence. The resolution of this battle has major consequences for the future of humanity and sets the stage for the next chapter. Fate Extra: Last Encore. Last Encore is a unique addition to the Fate franchise, taking place in a digital world quite different from the traditional settings of other Fate series. The story follows Hakuno Kishinami, a protagonist who wakes up in a strange virtual realm with no memories of his past. This virtual world, known as the Moon Cell, is a massive digital system created by an ancient civilization, and it serves as the backdrop for a new iteration of the Holy Grail War. In this world, the Holy Grail War isn't fought in the traditional sense. Instead, it takes place within a digital game-like environment where masters and their servants battle for the chance to claim the Holy Grail and escape the simulation. Hakuno finds himself in the middle of this war, with no clear idea of how he arrived there. All he knows is that he must fight his way through various levels and battles in this strange world. He is paired with a servant, a powerful heroic spirit who assists him in combat. However, unlike in previous Fate installments, the servants in Fate Extra are more than just allies. They are essential to survival in this virtual environment. Hakuno's servant is mysterious and has a powerful skill set that will be put to the test as they battle through numerous challenges. The primary goal of the characters in Fate Extra: Last Encore is to reach the final floor of the Moon Cell and defeat other masters and servants to claim victory in the Holy Grail War. Hakuno must face off against other masters and their servants, who each have different powers, motives, and strategies. Hakuno uncovers fragments of his past and begins to understand more about who he is. Along the way, he meets other masters and servants, including familiar characters from the Fate universe, like Saber and Castor. Each of these encounters adds layers to the story, revealing the complex relationships between the characters and their connection to the Holy Grail War. The battles in Fate Extra Last Encore are strategic and intense, requiring Hakuno to use his wits and the unique abilities of his servant to survive. One of the most interesting aspects of Fate Extra Last Encore is how it blends themes of technology and reality. The Moon Cell is not just a digital world, it's a reflection of the character's innermost desires, fears, and regrets. As the story nears its conclusion, the true purpose of the Moon Cell and the Holy Grail War is revealed. Hakuno faces difficult choices and must come to terms with his past and the world around him. The story also dives deep into the nature of fate itself, what it means to be a part of something larger than oneself, and whether the pursuit of the Holy Grail is truly worth the cost.